A small wolverine cub was fleeing from a hungry pack of wolves with all its might. The boundless Russian taiga, with its thick moss, ancient cedars and pines, blurred into a streak of panic. The air was filled with the crackling of dry branches under the paws of its pursuers. The cub, no bigger than a large house cat, put everything it had into its short but strong legs, yet relentless hunger drove the pack forward. Their vicious howling echoed through the forest, a sound that freezes the soul of any creature. The wolverine cub's lungs burned. Its small body was working past its limits. It had been separated from its mother while crossing a swift Taiga river, a moment of carelessness that had turned into a race for survival. With every step, the hope of escape faded, and the shadows of the wolves grew closer. The cub's strength ran out. Its paws buckled, and it collapsed onto the cool, moss-covered ground. The chase was over. The wolves, their muzzles snarled in anticipation of victory, began to circle him. They did not rush to attack, savoring a cruel game. One wolf would make a false lunge, leaping back to the pack's approving growls, while another sniffed at the exhausted little body. It was a demonstration of dominance, a cold satisfaction of power over the vulnerable. The wolverine cub whimpered weakly, its small body trembling. It squeezed its eyes shut, bracing for the inevitable. But nearby, behind a thick tangle of fallen trees, something was happening. A massive brown bear had been watching the entire chase. He was the silent master of this forest, known for his unhurried strength and solitary nature. His world was one of berry patches and quiet streams, not furious clashes on the forest trail. As the wolves continued their cruel game, the old, wise bear began to stir. He was a colossal beast, his gaze fixed on the torment below. His mighty chest began to rise and fall in a rhythm of growing indignation. He was no longer just an observer. The injustice of the scene had awakened something in his mighty heart. Just as the pack leader prepared to deliver the killing bite, a deafening roar tore through the tiger's silence. It was the sound of primal fury, belonging not to the wolves but to the master of the forest. It was the bear roaring. He rose to his full, immense height and charged the pack with shocking speed, crashing through the undergrowth with the force of an avalanche. The wolves, caught completely off guard, froze. Their growling died in their throats, replaced by a mixture of shock and terror. Their minds could not comprehend what was happening. A bear, here, intervening for a wolverine cub. It was an unthinkable alliance, a violation of every rule they knew. The mighty bear rushed the pack, demonstrating not an intent to kill, but overwhelming raw force. He reared up on his hind legs, his roar seeming to shake the ancient pines. His sheer size and power dwarfed the wolves. This was not a territorial dispute. It was an act of rescue. The wolves, facing a foe they could neither understand nor defeat, scattered in fear, tucking their tails, and vanished into the thicket. The chase was truly over, and the wolverine cub was safe. The bear stood over the exhausted cub, his massive body shielding the small animal from the retreated threat. The air, which had been thick with panic, now fell silent in tense anticipation. With the immediate threat gone, the bear's fury faded, replaced by a surprising calm. The huge beast lowered himself to the ground and gently nudged the cub with his broad nose. The cub, still trembling, hesitantly opened its eyes. The contrast was incredible. The immense power of the bear and the helplessness of the tiny wolverine. They were creatures from different worlds. The bear did not try to lift the cub or carry it away. He simply remained nearby, a silent protector, an act of empathy transcending the usual laws of the taiga. For a long moment, the two animals simply existed in a shared space of trust. The cub seemed to understand it was safe, and its breathing began to even out. It pressed against the bear's warm, thick fur, finding unbelievable comfort in its unexpected savior. Twilight began to descend on the taiga, painting the forest in dark hues. The wolves still lingered in the distance, at the edge of visibility, but did not dare to approach. Just as the last rays of light faded, a low, guttural growl echoed through the woods. It was a familiar sound, one the cub immediately reacted to. It was the call of its mother. An adult wolverine emerged from behind the cedars. Any instinct would suggest she would attack the bear, defending her territory or her cub, but she did not. She approached with caution and reverence. There was no aggression in her gaze, only a deep, silent understanding. The bear did not flinch. His gaze was soft. It was a wordless dialogue of gratitude. The wolverine briefly pressed her head against the bear's mighty paw, a gesture unthinkable for these species. The message was clear. Thank you." Then the bear turned, and with one last, gentle glance at the cub, lumbered heavily back into his thicket, rejoining the silence of the taiga. This story teaches us that compassion and courage know no boundaries between species. It challenges our perceptions of predator and prey, showing that when a life is in danger, a hero can come from the most unexpected place. The wolverine cub, now safe beside its mother, watched the retreating figure of the bear, a living testament to an incredible act of mercy and an unexpected bond born in the harsh taiga.